Good day, everybody. How are you all doing? Hope you are doing great today. Uh, for those of you who do not know me, this is Dr. Nandi. I frequently lecture on math, sometimes on statistics. Sometimes I solve problems on statistics live. Today we are going to solve a problem on statistics, on histogram. So here is the problem. The following data are available for germ scores with higher numbers indicating dirtier surfaces for credit cards. So they measured the number of germs on credit card surfaces. So you have germ scores, different groups. The first group is between 0 to 199.99. The count of frequency is 4 in that group or class. The next group is from 200 to 399.99. The count in that group is 23, and so forth. The highest number of jumps is up to 1199.99. Say summarize the data using a histogram. So if you know histogram, I have lectured on this before. Histogram is a plot of usually relative frequency on the vertical axis versus the different classes or groups of data. So the first thing we will do is total the frequency. 4 plus 23 is 27, plus 3 is 30. 30 plus 5 is 35, plus 4 is 39, plus 2 is 41. Next we will make a new column of relative frequency. The term relative means relative to the total. What is the relative frequency? That means frequency in each class relative to the total. So we take the count in each class and divide it into the grand total, which is the sum of frequencies. This is the symbol for sum, Greek capital S, sigma. Sum of frequency of the total number of samples is, sample size is 41. So 4 divided by 41. We use our calculator TI-84. This is what I constantly use. So 4 So I'm going to type 4, then divided by 41. And 4 divided by 41. No. 4 divided by 41 is equal to 0.098. And I repeat the process. 20 divided by 41. The frequency of the count for the second group of data is 23. Divide into it the total, or divide 23 by the total sample size of 41, and that becomes equal to 0.561. And we will keep on repeating. 3 divided by 41 is 0.073. Next one will be 5 divided by 41 is 0.122. Next one will be 4 divided by 41, which is, we have already done, 0.098. And the last one will be 2 divided by 41, which is 0.049, you might say. Now the sum of these relative frequencies should add up to close to 1. It may be slightly greater. Now relative frequency is frequency of each class divided by sample size. The sum of relative frequency, which is f over n, is equal to, if you add all these decimals, they should add up close to 1, plus 0.561 plus 0.073 plus 0.122 plus 0.098 plus 0.049, and that is actually equal to 1.001, which is close to 1, which you want, because the total should add up to 100% or 1. Relative frequency, sum should add up to 1. If you had, these are decimal values, if you had multiplied each by 100, it will be the proportion, a percentage in each class, they should add up to 100. Okay, now we have to summarize the data using the histogram. So as I said, a relative frequency histogram, relative frequency histogram. How does it look? The relative frequency on the vertical axis and the groups on the horizontal axis. Remember my groups are, so groups are classes, germ scores in this case, but they are arranged in groups, right? So the first class is from 0 to 200, 0 germ score, then 200, then the next one is up to 400, then the next one is up to 600, next one is up to 800, increments of 200, 800, next one is up to 1000, and finally we have the last class which is from 1000 to 1200. And so germ scores are on the horizontal axis, and we will have the relative frequency on the vertical axis. Frequency on the vertical axis. So our lowest relative frequency is 0.049 and the highest is 0.561. So we can have increments of 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5 and 0.6. Why did I stop at 0.6? Because the highest relative frequency in any class is 0.561. Okay, so relative frequency is on the vertical axis and the groups are on the horizontal axis. The relative frequency of the first class is 0.098, which is very close to 0.1 actually. So the height of this class is 0.098. So the height of each rectangular bar is its relative frequency. The next one is 0.561, the height. So from here to here it is. So this height is 0.561, which is the relative frequency in group 2 or class 2. Okay, the first one is 0.098, next one is 0.561, next one is 0.073, something like this. The height is 0.073. Next one, the height is 0.122. So this height is 0.122. Next one is 0.098, so slightly below. So this height is 0.098. And the last class height is half of that, 0.049. something like that, or maybe a little bit higher, slightly higher. So this height is 0.049. Again, each vertical rectangle, the height of the rectangle is the relative frequency, and the groups or the classes are on the horizontal axis. The width of each of these vertical rectangles are the same, being 200. So this is your relative frequency histogram. Okay. So one thing I will point out which is extra, which is not in this problem, is how to get a probability density curve. Probability density curve. Because that might help us on answering part D. So you locate the middle of the roof, top of the roofs, okay, middle of the roofs in each case. Then try to draw a smooth curve connecting this middle of the roofs. You will not be able to connect everything, but you get the idea, okay. So as you can see, this has an extended tail on the right, extended tail. So this is the probability density curve obtained by joining the middle of the by joining the middle of the center of each roof, center of each roof of the each roof of the frequency bars, each roof center of adjacent frequency bars. Okay, frequency bars by a smooth curve, that is the probability density curve, and it has an extended tail on the right, as you can see. That means there are many large numbers. So this, to answer part D, probability distribution is skewed to the right. Probability distribution is skewed to the right. Why? Because of extended tail on the right. That means there are many large numbers. Although most of the data, the center of the data is between 200 and 400. This is the class with the highest relative frequency. Okay? Is skewed to the right. Skewed to the right, sometimes called positive skew. Positive skew. That means the center may be on the left, but there are many large numbers with small relative frequencies, so you have an extended tail on the right. Okay. Got it? Any questions? Shoot me a question. I'll answer all your questions. So far I've explained how to draw the relative frequency histogram, how to convert from frequency to relative frequency by dividing the frequency of each class by the total of the frequencies. That will give you the relative frequency. It is called relative because it shows what proportion of the data is in each class. Remember, if you multiply the relative frequencies by 100%, you will get the percentage in each class. Okay. If you like my video, please give me a thumbs up. That really motivates me to produce more interesting videos just for you. And please subscribe to my channel by hitting the red subscribe button. And if you like this video, share with your friends. Okay, so we have answered A and D. Now it says, what is the proportion of cards with at least? So part B, at least 400. At least 400 means 400 or higher, because the lowest is 400. So you got to add the relative frequencies of the last 4 classes. Remember, the third class starts from 400. So we start, this is the lowest boundary 400, and you go to the highest is 1200. So we add the relative frequency at least 400. Okay, at least 400, starting from 400, class with the lower boundary at 400 to the higher boundary of 1199.99. So it is 0.073. That is the frequency, relative frequency of the first class, beginning with 400, then 0.122, then 0.098, and don't forget the last class, which is 0.049. So this is the proportion. You get a decimal value. If you multiply it by 100%, you get the percentage of cards with at least 400 germ score. So let's add this relative frequency. 0.073 plus 0.122 plus 0.098 plus 0.049, and that is equal to 0.342, or multiply it by 100% to get 34. Shift the decimal 2 places to the right. 34.2% of the cards have germs at least 400. Got it? 400 and above. Add the relative frequencies of the 4 classes, multiply by 100%. Part C. Proportion of cards with at most. At most means maximum value is 400. Maximum. At least is lowest, at most is maximum. At least means minimum. At most means maximum. Okay. Maximum 400. So you got to add only the relative frequency of the first 2 classes. It is 0.098 plus 0.561, and that will add up to 0.098 plus 0.561 will add up to 0.659, and then you multiply it by 100, shift the decimal 2 places to the right, it is 65.9%. So what does it mean? 65.9% of the credit cards have at most 400 germ score. At most 400 means up to 400. So you add the first 2 classes. At least 400 means lowest value is 400. So you add the last 4 classes. Notice if you add these, at least 400, 400 and above, and at most 400, 34.2 plus 65.9 is the entire table, or 100% of the data. Okay, so I will stop here today. If you have any question or comment, shoot me a note. Okay, do not hesitate, just shoot me a note. I will respond to each and one of the inquiries personally. I'm guaranteeing it. And if you like this video, share with your friends. If you like this video, give me thumbs up. That really motivates me to produce more of this kind of videos. And please subscribe to my channel by hitting the red subscribe button, and also at that time please click on the notify button, which is the bell button. That will notify you every time I upload a new video, which is almost every day. Hey, I thank you very much for taking the time to watch my presentation, watch my video, and I look forward to see you again maybe tomorrow. Please check my channel out tomorrow. I'm presenting something new. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.